a $500 Snap-on torque wrench and a $100 shop wrench. I ran both through 1,000 cycles on a calibration stand. The results are identical. The hand tool industry thrives on a simple illusion, that the logo on the handle dictates the quality inside. It doesn't. Today we're looking at 5 torque wrenches that are absolute gold mines. Same factories, same steel, and the same precision, without the 4 layers of retail markup. Let's get into the data. Number 1. Precision Instruments. Model C3FR250F. Half-inch drive, split beam, flex head. Retail price, $240 to $340 depending on where you look online. Here's what your tool truck rep will never tell you. Until 2003, Precision Instruments was Snap-on's exclusive contract manufacturer for their entire split-beam torque wrench line. The company selling you this wrench for around $300 was building the wrench Snap-on was selling for $550. Same factory, same engineering DNA, same split-beam deflection principle. When Snap-on acquired CDI Torque Products and began transitioning mechanical wrench production in-house, Precision Instruments did something brilliant. They kept making the exact same wrench and started selling it under their own name, at their own price. No marketing budget, no franchise trucks, no weekly payment plan, just the wrench. Now here is why the split beam design matters, and why it is technically superior to the traditional micrometer click type for shop storage. Your standard click type wrench has a heavy coil spring inside. Leave it stored dialed up to a high setting for 6 months, and that spring undergoes stress relaxation. The internal steel matrix literally relaxes under the constant load, the spring rate drops, and your wrench starts clicking early, meaning you are under-torquing critical fasteners without a single warning sign. The split beam eliminates that failure mode entirely. The deflecting beam only experiences stress when torque is actively applied. There is no stored tension between uses. You never need to wind it back down after a job. In a busy shop environment, that is not a minor convenience. That is a calibration integrity advantage that compounds over years of use. Snap-on's current in-house split beam does use their smoother dual 80 ratchet head, but hands-on testing and independent calibration data consistently show the underlying mechanical accuracy of the Precision Instruments model is identical across the torque range. You are saving roughly $250 for the same torque output, the same beam deflection physics, and the same split beam storage advantage. That is not a budget alternative. That's just buying smart. Precision Instruments still sells directly. No wholesale layer, no distributor margin. The factory-to-shelf model is baked into their pricing structure. That is why the number holds. Number 2. CDI Torque Products. Model 752 MFRMH. 3/8-inch drive, micrometer click type. Retail price, $130 to $180. CDI was founded in 1968. They spent decades as a primary contractor for the United States government. Military-grade calibration requirements, not consumer-grade. ISO 9001, certified across their entire production line. Then, in the late 1990s, Snap-on acquired them and folded them into the Snap-on Specialty Tools division, where they have been quietly operating ever since, largely invisible to the retail consumer. Here is the part that should make every Snap-on customer stop and think. CDI click-type wrenches use the exact same internal mechanisms, steel alloys and calibration lines as Snap-on's primary mechanical clicker line. The differences between a CDI wrench and a Snap-on wrench are cosmetic. CDI tools come in a matte industrial finish instead of high-polished chrome. The ratchet heads are heavy-duty industrial assemblies, some sourced from Williams sub-assemblies, highly durable with a slightly wider swing arc than Snap-on's high tooth count heads. That is the complete list of differences. Every CDI wrench ships from their City of Industry, California facility with an individually serialized calibration certificate, confirming it meets both ASMEB 107.3, OO, and ISO standards. This is not a Taiwanese knockoff of a Snap-on wrench. This is a Snap-on wrench, built by Snap-on's own subsidiary, assembled in California, sold without the Snap-on franchise tax. The price difference between a CDI 3/8 drive clicker and its Snap-on QD2 R100A equivalent is roughly $200. That $200 is not buying you better steel. It is not buying you better calibration. It is buying you a chrome finish, a logo that photographs well, and the weekly truck visit that delivers it to your bay door. For technicians who prefer the tactile feedback of a mechanical clicker over digital, the physical thunk through the handle that tells you the fastener is done without looking at a screen, CDI is the most direct path to snap-on internal quality at industrial pricing. The serialized cert ships in the box, the internal mechanism is identical, and you keep $200 in your pocket. Number 3. Quinn Digital, Harbor Freight Model 64915. Half-inch drive, digital strain gauge with integrated angle tracking. Retail price, $110 to $170 depending on the sales cycle. I know what you're thinking, Harbor Freight, but look at the customs data and the independent bench tests. If you look up the import manifests and customs data, the primary ODM behind this tool is Eclatorque in Taiwan. They build the digital architecture for several mobile tool truck brands. Same strain gauges, same boards, different plastic housings, different labels, wildly different prices. In multi-cycle bench testing, Quinn Digital wrenches consistently hold calibration accuracy within 2% across the torque range. The display gives you real-time torque values, progressive LED indicators, an audible alarm sequence, and integrated angle tracking. That last feature is not optional for modern engine work. Torque-to-yield fasteners, head bolts, rod bolts, main cap bolts, require a precise base torque followed by an exact angular rotation to stretch the bolt and achieve correct clamping force. The angle is not a suggestion, it is the specification. Without a wrench that tracks it, you are using a separate angle gauge and introducing a second point of human error into a critical assembly. The Snap-on Tech Angle equivalent, the ATECH 3FR250B, retails for over $800. The Quinn does the same job for $170 on a regular day, and closer to $110 on a Harbor Freight sale. The trade-off is a 90-day retail warranty versus Snap-on's full coverage. That is a real difference. But at roughly 25% of the price, you could buy 3 Quinn wrenches, keep one in the truck, one in the shop, one as a backup, and still have plenty of money left over. One practical note, digital adapters from the same OEM network exist at lower price points and offer similar accuracy, but they add height between the ratchet head and the socket, which creates clearance problems in tight engine bays. The dedicated wrench format solves that. For confined spaces, the Quinn wrench is the right tool, not the adapter. Number 4. Tekton, Model T RQ51402. 3/8-inch drive, dual direction micrometer. Retail price, $90 to $110. Tekton is the brand that quietly embarrasses the industry by doing something radical. Being completely transparent about what they build, how they calibrate it, and how they stand behind it when it fails. Here's the technical detail people miss. Both ASME and ISO standards only require torque wrenches to be accurate from 20% to 100% of their maximum capacity. If you buy a cheap, commodity 100 foot-pound wrench, the manufacturer will often print markings on the handle all the way down to 0, even though the tool is a guessing game below 20 foot-pounds. If you use a cheap tool for low-torque work like valve covers or plastic intake manifolds, you are asking to snap a bolt because you're working in a complete dead zone. Tekton fixes this by being strictly transparent. They calibrate to the rigorous ISO 6789 standard, and they don't cheat the scale by printing uncalibrated numbers. If it is a 20 to 100 foot-pound wrench, it starts exactly at 20, and it is certified accurate to within 4% across every single graduation marked on the handle. The ratchet head engages 90 teeth simultaneously, distributing load across 9 contact points to prevent ratchet slipping under high torque. The swing arc is 4 degrees, tight enough to operate in confined spaces where a standard ratchet head physically cannot complete a full stroke. For suspension work in tight wheel wells or exhaust manifold bolts buried against a firewall, that 4-degree arc is a functional advantage, not a spec sheet number. The warranty structure is worth understanding in detail. No receipt required, no return to store process. Submit a photo of the broken tool through Tekton's online portal. They ship a replacement with all freight covered by them. And for technicians who need documented accuracy for professional or regulated work, Tekton offers a calibration service through their partner labs starting at roughly $50 to $60, meaning this tool has a genuine documented service life, not a planned replacement cycle. The Mac & Matco mechanical clicker equivalent runs over $300. Tekton delivers full-range ISO certification, a 90-tooth ratchet head, a 4-degree swing arc, and a no-receipt lifetime warranty for around $110. The certification standard does not lie. Neither does the price. Before we get to the final pick, you need to understand the 3 rules of the calibration stand. These are the 3 things you can check to separate a tool that is engineered for precision from one that is engineered for display case. First, look for the calibration certificate. A tool engineered for precision will ship with an individual, serialized paper cert showing its actual deviation at low, mid, and high points. If the box just says meets ASME, but doesn't give you a serial number or an actual test sheet in the box, you're buying a mass-market commodity item. Second, watch the storage. If it is a click-type wrench, never wind it to 0. That is a myth that ruins the internal mechanism. Wind it to the lowest marked graduation on the scale. That keeps the spring seated without putting it under unnecessary fatigue. Third, prioritize the sensor type. For digital tools, look for solid-state strain gauges. They don't have the mechanical failure points of a spring-based clicker. These 3 rules cost nothing to apply, and they are how you stop buying tools that go out of calibration on the shelf. Number 5. ACDelco Model ARM601-3. 3/8-inch drive, solid-state digital strain gauge. Retail price, $85 to $105. The ACDelco digital line is developed by Mobiltron, also known as Durafix, a Taiwanese company that built its core reputation manufacturing high-precision automotive electronics, crankshaft position sensors, throttle actuators, electronic components where measurement accuracy is not a marketing claim. It is a functional requirement. They applied that same engineering discipline to hand tools, and the result is one of the most undervalued digital wrenches currently on the market. The ARM601-3 uses a solid-state strain gauge sensor, not a mechanical clutch, not a spring-loaded detent, not a click mechanism that relies on consistent spring tension to deliver consistent results. A solid-state sensor measures the microscopic deflection of the steel shaft under load and converts that mechanical force into a calibrated electrical signal. The physics of that measurement do not degrade with use the way a mechanical spring does. The result is certified accuracy between 1% and 2% in clockwise rotation. That specification outperforms most high-end mechanical clickers at any price point, including several truck brand options at 3 to 4 times the cost. The display delivers real-time torque values with progressive auditory tones that increase in frequency as you approach your target setting, then shift to a continuous alarm tone at the set value. That progressive feedback matters in practice. You're not waiting for a single click and hoping you caught it. You are hearing the wrench count you into the torque value in real time. It toggles between foot-pounds, inch-pounds, and newton-meters, covering any service manual format you will encounter across domestic, European, and Japanese platforms. The ARM607-4 S half-inch drive version covers the heavy-duty range for suspension, wheel bearing, and drivetrain work. Both models are available as a combo kit from Durafix directly, which brings the per-unit cost down further. The gear wrench digital equivalent retails for $250. The ACDelco delivers the same solid-state sensor accuracy for right around $90. At that price point, it competes directly with mid-tier mechanical clickers on cost, while delivering a fundamentally different and more precise measurement method that mechanical clickers cannot replicate regardless of price. 5 wrenches. 5 stories of shared supply chains and manufacturing realities that the tool truck model depends on you never discovering. Across all 5 brands, the pattern is identical. The money went into the engineering, not the marketing budget or the franchise financing. Before you buy, remember, the calibration stand doesn't care about the logo. Check for ISO 6789 or ASMEB 107.300 certification. Verify the parent company and always wind your mechanical clickers to the lowest marked graduation, not 0. That is how you get professional-grade performance while keeping $300 in your wallet. If this saved you money, drop a comment with the wrench you're adding to your box. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next teardown. Tap the video on your screen right now to see what else the big tool brands are hiding from you. I'll see you there.